Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this noontime, April the 30th, 2025, approaching late spring and the last day of April in just north of downtown Detroit, inside the Vincenzo Mobile Compound in the great state of Michigan, under gorgeous, crystal clear, glowing, deepening blue skies. With the current temperature, Jay, what's the current temperature? 49 degrees, Jay. On our way to a high of a seasonably beautiful 58 degrees, right? Bell notification, comment down below, like the channel, subscribe, and share to get that truth, trust, education, information that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. Changes by the day, but at least 1 video per day has been the goal this year, and we've been plus probably averaging right around 2 videos per day, right? And if you become members of Jabroni Killers, like this beautiful member has, Jeffrey Robinson 5241, Zbcn update, please. And we will do that right now once we hit do not disturb. When we do that, and this is one of the critical things you get with Jabroni Killers, not only building a movement of truth, trust, education, and information, and spreading and infiltrating the insider influencers on social media and mainstream alike, forcing and changing the narrative by us building the movement with you, the most important part of this, the audience, to stop getting fleece heisted and shysted. And this channel has been for and will continue to be, as it has always been, for the retail investor or trader. That is you, putting you at the forefront. But you are the most important part to keep this channel going forward. And without you, this channel, this voice, this message goes away. And thus, the retail investor loses a valuable source of information and education and trust and truth, with integrity sprinkled in there to navigate these choppy, manipulated waters. He wants Zbcn on. We're going to take a look at this. And if you want to join the Jabroni Killers to help spread and continue to force this movement and narrative and word, we don't need that right now. Hit the join button in the video description and or the pinned comment, right? $3.99 a month, the cheapest and easiest way and best value to support a channel. If we look at this, you can see we're at the critical support and resistance levels right now. Actually, I believe just inside of it, or just, nope, dipped just now back inside or back into it, and we're right about there. We'll lock that because that's enough into the future for right now. We'll make this our, no, we wanted red, our red resistance box of support and resistance. And you can see it's been, there's your mean of the volume, meaning it drops considerably off as you march up. It drops off considerably, right? And then when you're below it, same thing, drops off considerably to the all-time low. But if you look at it like this too, we've been, since this high up here, we had this kind of breakdown. And then we've been sort of forming with our major upper resistances sort of in the same spot, right? Right about there. We can make that a little smaller, and then we'll clone that. And then we've got our lower support right about there, right? So we've been trading in a down and sideways consolidation, but it's not really down that much. It's down, but it's not a steep angle like you've seen a lot of these. And you can see that in the daily time frame is your major support and your major resistance. And you've been bouncing around in that ever since this coin. I don't know if this coin just came out or what back here in May of 2024, but it was straight down. Then it came up and started forming this wedge, a down and sideways wedge, or a channel. It's a falling channel, but it's almost a neutral channel. It's just slightly trending downwards. And you can see it's bounced in between that multiple times. If we go in and look at the moving averages here, we're going to mark them in the daily. We got to speed this video up because I'm on my lunchtime break, and this is going to be a very long video if I continue at this pace. So we'll make that green, then we'll clone that. We'll make that blue. Then we'll clone that. and then we'll make that red. And that's from the bottom to top, the 50, the 100, and the 200, right? So you can see we've had the golden bearish cross. But on this pump, what I would be paying attention to is, again, in the daily time frame, the volume. You can see if we go back into when this thing had its first initial massive pump in early February, we had that massive move to the upside. Look at the volume uptick with the massive pump. Do you notice that? Notice how the volume proportionately skyrocketed with that blow off top pump hype going in through February, right? Then after that, as we worked our way through that pump, the volume has drastically come down. You can see that. Anybody can see that. You can see it. I can see it. The chimpanzees in the Detroit Zoo can see that, right? And then we've had this consolidation to the downside, but we've had a couple of pumps in there. The first pump hit the mean of the trading volume with the VP volume indicator, and that's why we put that red line in. Pumped up to the top, hit that major resistance, came back down, traded along again the mean of that 2 candles in the fixed volume profile range. That shows you where most of the trading is, so you know this is a major support level down here when you're coming from above. Once again, hit that support, but once again, came up to the upper resistance and got rejected, right? Now you've gotten rejected right there again by that upper resistance. And we'll make this a brighter blue so it's easier to see. No, we need to go up here. There we go. That's a good blue. You can see that ain't the same one, is it? Should be. You can see we hit it again with the falling volume. And if we zoom into this, so what I'm trying to tell you here is I got to wrap this one up. We'll put this in our rotation for you, is you're playing this support and resistance. So right now you have your support up here, or your major resistance up here at the 0.0012627. You have your major underneath support at the bottom of this channel down here at a bunch of 0.7030, and then you have your mid-ground support level that you've been getting bounced off of. But again, the technical trading rule, the more times you bounce off a support level, the more times you trigger limit orders in, the more times you chip away at the stacked orders at a technical support bounce level, eventually it's going to fall through. You can see it briefly wick down once right here, and quickly in the same wick in the daily time frame wicked all the way back up into it because there were major buyers down at the next falling channel critical support level. But I would say right now, if this doesn't hold support here and it breaks these moving averages, the 50 and the daily, you're going to break this again. And I think you're going to eventually, maybe probably more than likely, end up down here on the 0.0007030 major support level maybe this week. And it's just repeating a pattern here. But right now the pattern is clearly showing itself since July of last year. This is what we're in. Still don't want to buy you. But what you do want to buy to help support the movement before it's too late, before the manipulation grows out of control, before you make irrational decisions and get preyed upon and paid upon, join the Jabroni Killers, $3.99 a month. And we're going to go to another Jabroni Killer member because I seen another comment. Thanks for the XCN update. Could you put Cardano on again? Absolutely. Who is that? Garbanzo. He's got one of the funnier names. I like saying it. Garbanzo134, right? Here you go, Garbanzo. We're gonna go find you a little Cardano. Little fucking Cardano, Vincenzo. Need some fucking Cardano in my life, right? So we're gonna get you some fucking Cardano. Let's get into Cardano, ADA, otherwise known as. You can see it's been in this bearish sentiment since that blow off top where we almost hit that 146 target, the top part of that green resistance zone. And then we've been telling you it's been very, very bearish ever since then. But now recently we had a nice little rally, but you can see we've had our bearish cross. We've had our golden bearish cross where the 50 is now underneath the 200 and then the 100 slightly above the 200. We had a nice pump there, but we've been thinking we were coming down to this 0.409 level because it's got chopped down below repeatedly below this critical light green resistance box, and it got forced below it and then got forced below the moving averages. And again, with the volume, you notice when you had that big Donald Trump rally, look at the volume down there. We'll zoom in on it so you can see it. See how high that volume is? Look at that volume. See, and at the beginning of it again, it was stacking up with the price, and the volume was matching it, right, to let you know the run was going to continue. But where you should have got nervous, and you can look at any of these big rally pump charts, whether it's stocks, crypto, commodities, whatever, right? Once you get to about right here and you see the peak starting to go down like that noticeably, and then in the middle of that, the mean, the mean of the volume right here, notice the mean of the volume. That's this line that runs in between the volume at the bottom. Once it started to run parallel and you've seen this collapse in volume in the daily candles, right? You know something's afoot and something doesn't smell right, and you got to pay attention to it. And then notice how it tried to hold it on this critical support level here from the 28th back through a good 10 days. It tried to hold it 10 to 14 days, and then it finally gave it up. And notice as soon as it gave it up, it had the big wick, the big candle volume there to let you know that this was a major significant move and a breakout. It traded down and sideways for a few days until we came up, or about 2 weeks again, till we came up for a major retest, but got rejected again and then fell much farther, right? So I think this is telling you that if this does somehow force above the 200-day, the 50, and the 100-day, your rejection point is up here at 90 cents. And I believe whether you broke up there or not, which I'm hedging towards you wouldn't get all the way up there, you're eventually, I believe, coming down here to the 0.0409. And before we wrap this up, we're going to go look at some Shiba Inu, because that's another jabroni killer member. And you can see on the Shiba, the fucking Shiba, it got rejected again, and you're below the 50-day moving average again in the daily time frame. And if we look at what's going on here, this is a very critical thing here, because if we continue to get rejected here, we're below the major moving averages. We're below, I think I just moved that. We're below the critical red trading support resistance box. If we don't get the buyers and the momentum and sustain above this red trading box, you're going to flush very, very fast and very, very quick over the course of maybe potentially less than a week, which would be a potential probably 50% move from current price to down a 25.69% move. And it would happen very, very quickly. Could happen in a couple of days or a couple of hours if you don't get support. Major upper resistance is the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame, sitting right now, right? And that's what we're looking like in Shiba. It's very critical time for Shiba. It's a very critical time in altcoins. It's a very critical time in the cryptocurrency sphere, as things are rapidly changing, and this incredible bull market rally or bear market rally after the blow off top, with some coins up 250 to 300% from their lows, but still down 40 to 60% from their blow off top highs, just like we still don't want to buy you. Is this the start of the next leg of the bull market, or is this just the start of a lot of pain and a lot more bear action and sell off and money losing propositions and people not seeing what's going on? You need to stay with old Vincenzo. You need to join Jabroni Killer, subscribe to the channel, help grow this movement to keep the truth, trust, education, and information flowing this summer, because I think it's going to be a wild, shocking, high-paced, lots of ups and downs, but very shocking things that are going to happen in the crypto price across the board this summer. Peace and love. The Rock's Eyebrow J.